All right, guys, welcome. Today I am joined by a good friend, Mr. Matt Camp. Matt
Yeah.
is with Deal Machine, and Matt and I want to show you guys, all the listeners, all the viewers out there on all the different platforms, how awesome Deal Machine is and how great this new feature of being able to run MLS comps inside of the website or the mobile app is, and how it's going to benefit all of you, all of the real estate investors, wholesalers, fix and flippers, landlords, guys that love to do the Burr method, maybe creative financing. Regardless, right? You're going to need comps when you are out looking at properties and when you are making offers, because the best way to make an offer, as we know, is to start with the ARV, or the after repair value, and you get that number by running comps. That's how you get that number. So we start there, then we multiply that by a discount rate. Maybe it's 10%, maybe it's 20%, maybe it's 30%, and then we subtract out the repairs. But we got to start with the after repair value if we're going to make a good solid offer. And the best way to do that is to look at the comps. So Matt, welcome. Thanks for coming on with me today. We're live.
Yeah.
This is a live stream. And we're going to explore the MLS comps that you guys just added, like maybe a week or two ago?
Yeah, brand new. Yeah, so we appreciate you having me on as always, David. I know we always have a good time, and
Always.
yeah. Say like the new setup, you're upgrading
I'm
the
trying to have
there.
more
So
fun here,
we're bit by
man.
bit.
Yeah, just trying to
Love
have
it.
more fun.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I'm happy to talk anything MLS data related as well. I know comps is probably the number one way to be able to leverage that data and really jump in. And we've had county record comps here for a little bit, just on the Deal Machine side, we've had a comping tool from that perspective, but having the MLS data behind that is just such an advantage. Like being able to come in and, on our end, we're super excited to announce like, hey, we have sold data, we have expired listings data, we have the 9 disclosure states, being able to help you, no matter where you are in the US, leverage this data. But being able to come in and have a comps tool that is, leveraging the most updated, the most relevant information, the MLS, which is what agents are reporting on, especially in today's market where it's always shifting, always changing, where, I'm sure it is where you are. I know in St. Louis it is. Having that most updated information like this is going to give you that edge and that advantage. So yeah, happy to kind of walk through the specifically in Deal Machine, how it works, and then give best practices on how to leverage MLS data, throughout the whole platform. So,
Man, let's do it. I'm going to share your screen because you've already got this prepared for us. And I want to
yeah,
see how awesome this is, man. I know that you and I have had some conversations about it. I've even played around with it for a few minutes, but I'm really excited to be able to get this opportunity to have you demo this with us for, a few minutes here this morning, so I can learn more
yeah,
about it and how I can use it to help my business. And
hmm
obviously, we want to share and let anyone and everyone else that has Deal Machine know that this is available. And those who don't use Deal Machine yet, you can go sign up. You can get a 7-day free trial. There's a link below this video, or you can use code Dave. That code's going to get you $15 worth of deal credits for free. And you can even use those deal credits during your 7-day free trial. It's a no-brainer. If you're not already using Deal Machine, guys, highly recommend you check it out. But yeah, Matt, you got the floor, my friend. Well, teach me something new, my man. Let's do this.
love it,
Yeah,
man. Love
buddy.
the energy
I'm
you bring.
excited.
There we
Yeah.
go. Yeah, so to kind of give you an overview, and as you said, I know you mentioned you've had us on before. Feel free to check out prior videos. We're always upgrading, always updating. Like, I'd say comps in general. This is just the next exciting thing that we're launching. But at a high level, Deal Machine, one of our main differentiators, I think, in our space in general, is saying like, hey, we've got a full development team that is always putting out new exciting stuff. So comps was something we heard over and over again from people, especially having MLS data behind it, that people were really looking for and really excited about. But that's something we, if you look back, if you look at the mobile app, history, you'll see every 2 weeks you'll see new updates coming out that are major, big sprint items that it's, hey, here's something new, here's the, something to give you more and more value. And especially lately, I mean, our whole goal as a company, like, our stated mission is, hey, we want to give everyone the power of real estate investing. And the way to do that, especially lately, is we're saying, hey, we want to make it simple, easy to use, extremely easy to pick up and use on the go, mobile or desktop, which I'll show off today. And being able to have that simplicity, but then also have be an extremely powerful tool that if you're, getting to that next level, if you're finding leads, if you're having conversations with motivated sellers and you're getting to that point where you need to have that ARV number, like we're showing off today, we do have the technology to be extremely powerful and give you more, everything that you need at your fingertips while being easy to use. So that's kind of the lens that we're looking at this through. So you'll see that reflected throughout the comms tool is like, hey, it's fun, it's easy to use, it's, simple to use on the go, mobile or desktop. But it's extremely, extremely powerful. So can you still see my desktop here? I was going to show off a few things.
Yeah, I'm going to put it up here now.
There we go.
And I'm trying to there we go. We got us on here, and I can move us to the other side of the screen as needed here.
Okay, cool.
Still trying to figure some of these out, but yeah, we're good to go, Matt. We're good to go.
No worries, man. Awesome. So what you can see here, I mean, if you've got, just to kind of begin with, all of these blue pinpoints right here are your current properties that you've added to your list. And, the idea of the map right here is, and really Deal Machine in general, it's, hey, we want to give you the power of real estate investing. That means go direct to seller, go off market, start talking to motivated sellers. And the number one way to find them is through a sign of physical distress. So, that would be driving for dollars, if you're familiar with that term. I know you guys have been using this for years on that end. Or we have List Builder as well, which is, the ability to come in and pull a list fitting a particular criteria and create a custom niche list that, based off that criteria. So regardless of how you're getting those leads, those are kind of your two options within Deal Machine. You can come in here and see on the map, any blue dot that pops up is a property that I've already got added as a lead here. You can also see these new blue dots right here. So these blue dots are the MLS data, or the properties that have an MLS active status on them. And you can see, data around like, hey, sold price. If you go into that lead specifically, you can see a ton of information on, listing date and current listing price, days on market, listing agent, all of that, equity, all of this, data about a particular property, digging in really, really specifically. And, I'd say from an MLS data perspective in general, you've got driving for dollars. The map on here is one great place to find that. Again, I know I mentioned List Builder. You're able to pull a list of properties there too, or exclude those properties. So that way, like, hey, if they're on market, maybe don't target them. They're already, they've got other options out there. If they are an expired listing, you can pull a list of expired listings right there as well inside List Builder. And that would just mean like, hey, they've gone and had a failed listing, and they could be in a good spot to have somebody go direct to them rather than them listing it on the MLS. So those are all specific use cases within using this data on List Builder or on the map. When it comes to the actual comps, so here's an example. Come in here. I'll find, we'll go here. You've got, say you add this lead, you say you've driven by it. Say you're using the mobile app and you drove by the house and you noticed, hey, there's something physically, off about that particular property. You need some love and care. It's got anything from something obvious like a tarp on the roof, or gutters falling off, or siding falling off, or it's got something maybe a little less obvious and it's overgrown grass, or a overstuffed mailbox, or things that just show like, hey, for whatever particular reason, this owner is just not keeping up with that property. If you add that lead right inside Deal Machine there, right inside the map, you'll see you've got a couple of tabs that pop up right away, and comps being one of those. So this is where you can jump in, and again, this is mobile friendly. It looks just like this on mobile too. You can do this on desktop, on mobile, whatever way you want to do it. It's a $20 add-on, so it's something that you pay $20 a month. Your entire team can have access to this comps tool with inside of Deal Machine here. But when you click on that, you can come in and right away be able to see, all right, based on whatever criteria you want to use, whatever criteria you want to filter out, you can go in and customize this and say, all right, show me all of the comps in this area that fit a particular sale date, that fit a particular square footage, fit a year built, bedroom, bathroom, a range from how many miles away. You can do, like I said, county record data, which is, government reported data, or MLS data, which that MLS data is going to be your most up-to-date version of what's on market today, what's most relevant. And as you update that, you can come in here and see, okay, now I've got 29 properties that fit that particular criteria. Well, let's get a little more granular. Let's go in here, and I want to be able to draw. And again, you can do this on the go. And this is something that, especially within particular city blocks, block by block, a comp might be extremely different. So you can go in here really, really easily, just click around, be able to draw a certain area, and then you can nail that down. Okay, now I've got 4 comps that fit this particular criteria. You can go in here and manipulate the data on the go. Super fun, super easy to use. It's most accurate because it is that MLS data. But then it'll also dynamically update. Or if I want to remove some of these properties, you can click to say, okay, now I've got these 3 properties here that are comp to this particular one I'm showing off right here. It'll automatically update that estimated value for you too. So based on the properties you have selected, it'll go in, it'll give you an average dollars per square foot automatically. You'll see that change right here if I select or deselect those properties. And you've got
look at that.
$1 per square foot on the go, and it'll apply that. So it says, hey, if you've got this many dollars per square foot, here's the average price. Here's what it is, applying that dollar per square foot to your property. So all that on the go, incredibly powerful, being able to just, hey, draw an area, click a couple properties, and be very, very confident in, what you can offer and what the ARV looks like.
Man, this is sweet. So how would somebody, I think that there's several ways in which you can access the comps, right? So can you explain that? So like, for example, if somebody was, they had a call from a seller that came in from, let's say, a postcard that was sent from Deal Machine. And they just want to be able to go search that property address and run comps right then and there. How would they go about doing that?
Yeah, so there's a couple options. I think this one's probably most reflective of mobile. So if you're on the actual phone, you're going to see like, hey, you're probably out in the field, driving around. And if you get a call, like you said, from a mailer while you're in the field, you'll be able to, pull up that particular property, click,
let's just say it's that one. Okay.
See, it's that one right there. Add that lead. Click on that right here, and you've got the comps button right here, right next to info.
There. Look at that. So if you sent a mailer, the lead would have already been added in.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you could obviously and jump right do it the way you're doing it, or you could even go into the current leads and just search that property owner's name, their address,
so
maybe the phone number they're calling you from.
That option would be right there. Okay, so say like Suzanne called me back. Okay, cool. Search her name. Pop up.
I may not have a Suzanne.
got a
you got quite a few leads in there.
It might take me a minute here.
It might take a minute. That's right.
Let me reload that and try that one. Let's click on a particular property. Yeah, so we've got a huge lead list. If you want to go into this, in this particular list and saying like, hey, here's my D4D leads, and you get a call back from Charles right here, you can click right into that.
View lead, and then on the right you have your comps. And basically, if you click the view lead on your phone, it's going to take you to that sidebar right there, and I can actually remove our faces from that thing right there. So that's what you're going to essentially see on your phone right there. Look at that. That's slick. Okay. And you click the MLS comps, and then you're right in there.
Jump in there, be able to draw around this, draw around a particular area, say, okay, cool. Show me the comps in this block. Come in here, and then you can manipulate this a little bit. Say, okay, let me remove the high and low one, and you've got average square foot that's changing, and it applies it to your property to give you estimated value right on the spot.
Holy cow, this is sweet, man! This is really, really sweet.
Yeah.
So the ability to run MLS comps. Do you guys show the pendings and the actives and the expireds, or is it just the solds?
Yeah, it shows any status there. If you go in and filter comps, you can filter by anything like this, and then you can go in and also, if you want to get really, really specific on that data, if you want to pull a list and say like what you're talking about, okay, I've got expired listings. Here's an option. I can come in here and I know overall, I mean, we have 65 different filters within MLS data and
Holy
over
cow.
700 data points. Yeah. So yeah, come in here and say like, hey, I want to mess with here. Let me search by MLS. Market status, days on market, price, sale date, updated dates. You can get really, really specific on a lot of this stuff. And really, I mean, the whole importance of this data, like I said, it's the most up-to-date data. But then in addition to that, like, hey, if you're using Deal Machine, if you're out there, if you're driving for dollars, if you're using List Builder, like I'm showing off right here, to get in the room to negotiate, to be able to get that conversation going, to get in the room with the seller, this is going to empower you by giving you numbers and giving you confidence, especially as a newbie, to know that like, hey, our data is going to show you what the seller's house is actually worth, what that ARV is. And, I know that's a hard conversation to have with people a lot of times. I know people can go in and be scared to talk price, be a little hesitant to talk price with sellers. Like, this is a way to be extremely transparent, show them on the go, and give you the confidence and credibility of like, hey, knowing these numbers are accurate, knowing these are something you can start a conversation around. So whether you're using List Builder, driving for dollars to get in the room, like, hey, this comms tool will help you, close that deal once you're in that room. So,
man, I love it because one of the things that I really like to do with sellers, Matt, is I like to try to reframe the conversation. And the whole time I want to try to make a friend. That goes without saying. You want people to know you, like you, and trust you. That's what building rapport is, right? So making a friend kind of checks all those boxes. But one of the things I really like to do, though, is I try to reframe the situation to basically avoid the seller thinking that it's me versus them. Yep. Because if it's me versus them, they're going to have a wall. They're going to have a defense. They're not going to want to listen or trust you. So what I like to do is I always like to say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, it's not me versus you. It's you and me together versus the marketplace. So let's run the numbers together. And I love showing people the formula, especially the seller. I show students this too, right? But I like to show the seller, hey, here's how all of us investors, me and all of my friends and partners in the market here, are going to run the numbers. We're going to start with the ARV, and we do so by pulling comps. And then we're going to discount it. And that discount rate is typically going to be 20 to 30%. But don't worry, because we're not trying to make 20 or 30%. The cost of selling a house is almost 10%. So if I mark this thing down, or discount it by 20%, I got to spend roughly 8-9% to sell it. So let's just call it 10%. And I'm going to make a 10% profit margin. So right there, I'm giving them a layer of transparency, which helps build the trust. It helps make them like you more because you're being transparent. And every minute you spend with them on the phone or ideally in person, the more they're hopefully going to like you. So again, you're just checking all these boxes for rapport. But what I'm getting at, though, is it's not me versus you. It's me and you, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, versus the market. And the best way to do that is to pull up the comps and to do that in real time with the seller. So prior to Deal Machine, I would just use Zillow, right? But I love the ability to see the real comps and have them, organized really nice and neat. And basically, say to the seller, well, check it out. In the last 6 months or in the last 12 months, hopefully within a quarter mile or a half mile radius, there was 5 or 6 sales and they sold for this, right? Yep. And let's look at the photos of these and let's see what they look like. Okay. So now we know why these are selling for this. Now let's look at this property that we're hopefully sitting at the kitchen table of. And we can say this one needs 20 or 30 grand worth of work. So we can both agree that the comps that we found are better, nicer, newer, or more updated than this current one. Perfect. And then we can be transparent. We can say, all right, so, based upon these comps, this is what we think it's worth after the repairs. Let's discount that so we can make a profit and cover our cost to sell it. Then let's subtract out the cost of the repairs. Now we have an offer. And when you do it like this, people, they respect the hell out of the transparency. You're not just pulling out a random number that's going to make you a bunch of money. Instead, you're showing the seller, you're including the seller, you're making the seller part of the process of determining what a fair offer would be to them right then and there, right there. So I love the ability to have it on your phone. Everybody's got a smartphone these days, right? You can pull it out, download the app, and pull up the comps right in front of the seller at their kitchen table. And that right there, that layer of transparency is going to help you win more deals. I guarantee it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what,
so how long have you guys had them?
So we've had county comps for maybe 6 months or a year, somewhere in there. But like county records, but the MLS data is a big deal. And we redone the whole comps tool. So that way it's way easier to find it on the phone, way easier to use it from a mobile friendly perspective. Again, that MLS data is inside List Builder and Driving for Dollars as well. But where you're really going to leverage it is that comps tool like this. But exactly what you're talking about is that process of sitting down with the seller and being extremely transparent with them. I mean, that's what David, our CEO, David Lecco did as well, where it's like, you know, he when he first started Deal Machine, he started as a tool to help scratch his own itch and help him start to find properties that you know start to build a list of properties that he was finding while driving around, and then just make an easy way to follow up with them. And when he would actually get to the table with them, he would print out a whole folder. He'd have all these sheets of like, here are the comps of what I'm running, and have to go through all that manually, and took him forever. And the process was fantastic because people just really respected him to show all that off, you know, while sitting at the table like you are, David, right now. But being able to go do that on your phone, on the go, on the spot, dynamically, like updating that right there. I mean, that's extremely powerful in winning trust and also helping you guide that conversation of what is truly going to be a max allowable offer. So, love you.
Agreed, man. I love it. I think it's so important and so valuable to have the ability to show those comps and to do it with the seller. Again, you're gonna get a level of transparency that most investors aren't going to do whenever you do that. Now, if you decide that you don't want to do that, or you're not in their home and sitting at the kitchen table, and you want to do this over the phone, you can do this over the phone, but you still have those comps at the end of the day. That's what matters. You know, you got to be able to start with the comps, which determines your ARV. That's where all of it starts. I don't care if you're fixing, flipping, buying rentals, wholesaling, doing creative, lease options, terms, financing, whatever. Doesn't matter. You need to know that ARV so you don't make a stupid offer. And when I say a stupid offer, I mean one that's at or above retail, right? We got to learn how to buy these properties at discounts. And in order to know what a discount is, you got to know what that ARV is. And that's where the comps come in. So, Matt, holy cow. Happy you're here, man. This has been great. MLS comps on Deal Machine. This is sweet. Guys, you can get 100 free skip traces over on the Deal Machine app. There's a 7-day free trial as well. There's a link in the description, or you can use code DAVE, and that is going to give you the $15 in deal credits, which essentially is going to get you about 100 free skip traces. Or you can use that to send some direct mail, and you probably get 25 to 30 postcards for those 15 deal credits. And I always suggest and recommend that, you know, people that are testing it out, send a postcard to yourself, right? And it's going to take 3 or 4 or 5 days to get to you. That's okay. That's standard. It's going to have to go to the print shop and be mailed and go through the mail. But by doing that, it's going to show you how the app works. It's going to show you how simple it is to get your marketing message out in front of these motivated sellers. And it's going to put something in your hand so you can see that it's real. So I love the direct mail feature. In fact, I'm sending anywhere from 300 to 400 on the low end to about $1,000 a week worth of direct mail right now. And we're going to continue to grow that because direct mail is and always has been such a great way to get a seller to know that you're in the business to help them and to buy their property. But it also gives them your phone number, your business name, your email, your website, whatever you want to put on there. So absolutely.
I mean, I know you've worked with us for 3 or 4 years now. So you've seen a ton of evolution over that time of what all Deal Machine can do. I'm lucky that I get to come on and talk to you about it and have you clapping for our team. But our team is phenomenal. Like, I can't take the credit there. Like, our development team's put out great new stuff all the time. Also, Phil, I see Philip's on as well. Hello, hello as well. All the St. Louis guys. Philip Vincent jumping on.
Yeah, we had a couple chats here, which is awesome. I've been kind of popping those up on the screen as we go. So this has just been an impromptu live, but great video. I got to learn a few things as well about the comps. And guys, anybody that's watching, Deal Machine is the go-to driving for dollars app. Not only can you use it for driving for dollars, but again, you can run MLS comps with it now. You can skip trace. And the skip trace will pull up phone numbers and emails. Don't discount those emails, guys. If you can't connect with somebody via phone or a call or a text, shoot them an email, right? You got direct mail. You guys have driving route features now, which is really, really cool. Actually, you've had this for a really long time. But, let's say you pull a small list or a niche list either from Deal Machine or elsewhere and import it in. Doesn't matter. And let's say this list is 30 or 60 or even 100 properties that are pre-foreclosure, code violation, back taxes, whatever. You can go drive those properties, drive that list, and then you can mark the ones that have signs of distress, or you can just get out of the car and go knock on the door, right? So there's so many different options and so many different tools to essentially help you do more deals, make more money, and to have more fun while you're doing all this because you have an app that's on your phone, in your pocket, 24/7, 365. It's amazing. Love it. Matt, thank you so much for doing this live stream with me. You always teach me a thing or two. And guys, don't forget, click the link below this to check out the 7-day free trial or download the app. Just go to Deal Machine in the App Store. And when you are signing up, use code Dave. And that's going to give you 100 free skip traces. And again, test it out. Skip trace yourself. Skip trace your neighbor. Skip trace that house down at the end of the street that looks like hell. Call the seller. Send yourself some direct mail. There's tons of options, not only to find motivated and distressed sellers, but also to market to these individuals. Matt, you're the man.
Yeah, dude, I always appreciate you bringing me on. I saw Rita's question. Can you get in touch with me? matt@dealmachine.com is my email, Rita. Please feel free to reach out directly and would be happy to get you all set up with us too. So,
hey, there you go.
Again, always happy to be on here, Dave, and have a great time with you. And your community is ready to listen, ready to take action, ready to learn. So, love that. What do you got?
One question. Let's wrap this up with the question here, guys. So, guys, what do you want to always include on the direct mail? So, speaking of that, I have a really, really good friend, and he doesn't put his website on his direct mail. And I always have, because I feel like it is going to offer a little bit of credibility. They can go to the website, but my friend doesn't add it because he doesn't want people to go to the website and maybe they don't like the website and then they leave. So my advice would be always include at a minimum your name and your phone number. And if you have a business, you can include the business name if you like. It's not required. But for me, David Dodge and my business phone number, right? If you want to include a website, I don't think it's a bad thing, but I don't disagree with my friend either. You want people to call you. That's the goal. If they go to your website, they may or may not fill out a form. They may or may not call. They may just go and leave. So I always suggest at a minimum the name and the email. The name and the phone number. And then if you want to add an email, that's fine too. Matt, what do you suggest?
Yeah, I mean, I would say one, we're luckily within Deal Machine, you've got 10 preset templates that include, has a spot for your name, email. It has actually pre-written copy for you, like pre-written, wording for you already of what is working for people, for our top investors. So you do get 10 preset templates in there. I know outside of that, you can also send ballpoint marketing, ballpoint letters, so like written by a ballpoint pen through there, and that sees up to like 3-time response rate, 3x response rate. Also, highly recommend, if possible, taking a picture of the property especially if you're going to use Deal Machine, that picture automatically imports onto the postcard, and that's going to double your response rate too. Seeing that picture of of their actual property on that postcard form too. So all those pro tips Deal Machine makes it easy, but regardless of what you're doing, like, hey, I want to give you what's working for investors in general. And it's more visuals and handwritten letters, both up the response rate. So
I didn't even think of those things, Matt. That's why I asked. Wow, that's awesome.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
Tons of value. I love it. All right, Matt, we're going to wrap up this live stream. Thank you so much for coming on. Guys, thanks for watching.
Always.
Thanks for asking questions. Don't forget, though, guys, there's a 7-day free trial, and they make it easy. It is literally the best app on the marketplace for driving for dollars. They now have MLS comps. They have all types of cool functionalities to help you, again, do more deals, find more distressed property owners, help more people, and ultimately make